Hi everyone, welcome to week 2. It's me again, and I hope you've had a great weekend and have enjoyed the readings up to date. I know some of you have started working on your pedagogy paper, which is always good to hear that you're getting a head start on things. So let me just jump right into our agenda for this upcoming week. It is week 2. The weekly topic is the role of curriculum in education. Two key points is that we're going to compare and contrast theories and approaches to curriculum, pedagogy, and assessments, and that connect those theories and approaches to curriculum design. As we mentioned last week in our synchronous session, while a lot of the content may appear to be more designed along a master's in curriculum and instruction, it's important that as an educational leader on a school site or at a district office that you have this background of how curriculum should be designed and some of the rationales of what should go into design, and a little bit later on we'll talk about selection of curriculum as well. It's also important that as a leader on a campus that when you task a group of teachers to work on designing a common assessment or to design some sort of a curriculum unit, that you kind of have an understanding of what it is that you're asking them to do. So that's my 2 cents on that piece. Let's talk about the readings. You should all have the copy of Diane Ravitch's book, and I hope you enjoy it. I will be honest and tell you that it's a tough read. It's a tough read the second and third time that I've read it as well, and there's some great information in there. And we'll just leave it as the fact that I know that it's a tough read. And I think that the comparison between what happens in the New York City schools and what happens in the San Diego schools is important from the main standpoint that what you'll be reading is innovations come and we get great results, and then everyone kind of falls into a groove. Politics begin to play a major role in things, and it's time for a new innovation. The reason or rationale for those innovations can be, like I said, politics. New board members get elected. They want new superintendents, new principals to a school site, want to take something in a different direction. Textbook companies, programmers, software engineers come out with new things that they want to do. The testing industry, the federal government with regulations on what it is that we're supposed to be testing, all of those things come into play on reform strategies. So whether or not something is working or not, it does not necessarily mean that it will stick around. So you're going to read Ravitch chapters 1 through 4, and then there are 2 PDFs that are posted on Blackboard. The first one is the Committee of 10 report, and then the Cardinal Principles of Secondary Education. And then there is a quote on Blackboard from Diane Ravitch, which will provide some insight to your discussion boards. And speaking of discussion boards, let's talk about those. So I have looked over everyone's post. Great job, first weekend. Actually, it's your 9th week because you guys did discussion boards last weekend. And a hello and welcome to Dwight. Is a new student joining our cohort. So you might have seen his post on there, and he'll be joining us for our live session on next week. So we do have a new student. And discussion boards, make sure that you post your initial response, and then also you need to post a response to at least one peer. Just about everybody did that, but just a reminder, you need to get that in for full points, and your post, and your responses need to be well thought out and constructive responses. Another thing about the discussion board, this week's discussion board is going to ask you to reflect on some of the readings from 1897, which was John Dewey, and from 1947, Dr. King, and then add to that the information coming from Ravitch and the Committee of 10, and some of the more modern reform strategies. And so combine all of those thoughts, and the question is actually, is education in the United States moving in the right direction to prepare students for the challenges of life in a global, intellectually, and socially demanding society? And then support your response with evidence from your readings. One last piece on your discussion boards, right above, when you click in there and you start typing your response, above it there's a little toolbar. Over on the right side of that is a little button that has an ABC. Click on that button. It does a spell check feature, and will help you with spelling or grammar. So make sure you are doing that. Next on the agenda is to talk about the self-paced module, and I would encourage you guys to go through and do as much as you can of the assignments for the week before you do the discussion board posts, because the assignments, including the self-paced module, which is titled Educational Reform Past and Present, which is very similar to your research on the discussion board question. So go ahead and take care of that. I find them very informational and well done. So that's the self-paced module. Assignment number 1 is due at the conclusion of this week. Once again, the syllabus will say Friday at midnight, but you can submit them up until Saturday at midnight and not be docked any points for that. The assignment was your personal pedagogical creed on the purpose of education. And to wrap up this week's video, let's look at what's next. Next is week 3, and that will be another synchronous meeting. So group 1 will be at 6 o'clock, group 2 at 7 o'clock. And it'll be the same groups unless you have already notified me or you notify me that you need a different group and would like to switch from either group 1 to group 2 or 2 to 1. Either way works. And do that by Wednesday night, and I'll send out the invitations. It'll be the same format, so check your invite in the email, and if you click accept in the invite, it'll automatically add it to your calendar. This works easiest if you use Google Chrome in the calendar feature, and then you can just it'll give you a reminder and click join the meeting and jump right in if you had some difficulties getting in last week. And that concludes the information that I have for you for this week. Hope you guys have a wonderful week. Feel free to reach out, email, phone call, text message, or video chat. I am here to help you. Have a wonderful week.